What's up, YouTube? This is Shawnee, and this is my second video of my little series that I call myself trying to create my little channel. And hopefully, this video is better than the first one. I know the last video was a little dark, and there was some feedback in the back. So I tried to do a little better this time. So hopefully, y'all can see me and hear me a little better. Now, what is this video going to be about? Well, this video is going to be about changes, especially if you're over the age of 30, because there are certain things that it's just time out for. It's time out for games, it's time out for uh, insanity, doing the same things over and over again, expecting a different result. It's just time out for that, especially when you get over 30. Um, and we live in an age, just like I said on the last video, where everybody is so dumbed down and 40 is the new 20. No, boo, you still 40, okay? It's okay to look 20, but you're still 40. You need to act accordingly. I'm not saying you got to roll over and die, but there's certain mistakes you should not be making anymore. There are certain things that you shouldn't say. There are certain things you should not be entertaining as a 40-year-old or even a 30-year-old. Yes, it is what it is. And, it's amazing to me how people do the same things, make the same stupid mistakes, but wonder why. Well, I don't understand why I can't have this. I don't understand why this is like that in my life. Well, because you need to grow up. You need to make some changes in your life. How do we make those changes? Well, this is going to sound very cliche, and it's not what I'm about to say that I don't think you know. It's the fact that people don't apply what I'm about to say. And this applies to anything. It can apply to your relationships, which I'll cover a couple of the biggies, uh, just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But it can apply to anything on your life, whether it's your relationships, your friendships, your job, your money, your family, whatever it is that you're trying to promote the change. You apply this. What do you apply? You gotta change you. You gotta change what you think. And by you changing what you think, what you say a lot of times will change. When you can change your inside, your outside is going to change. I read an article and it was very interesting. It was talking about how reality is very subjective. The reason why I believe that, first of all, what is subjective reality? Subjective reality basically says that whatever you think it is, whatever you're thinking, is or whatever you believe in your heart is what you'll grow to see. Um, Basically, it's saying that whatever is you see on the outside of you is a reflection of what's on the inside of you. And the reason why I believe that is because the Bible says that. The Bible says that whatever a man think is in his heart, so is he. Not only that, but Jesus himself said that whatever you ask for in prayer and you believe it, you will see it happen in your life. So that tells me that reality has to be very subjective. So basically, what that means is whatever is on the inside of you, if you really want to know what's going on inside of you, look at every area of your life and you will be able to see what's inside of you. If you love your life, then this video ain't for you. If every area of your life is perfect, and there are people in this world that their lives may not be perfect, but they're content. They're okay with every area of their life. But if you're not, your relationships are good, but your job sucks. Your jobs are cool, your career life is cool, but your friendships suck. Then there's something, you have to apply this in your life. You have to change that part of you. Okay. So, have you ever met somebody that claims to be positive? Oh, I'm a positive person. Okay. I know I'm a positive person. I think positive, but when you listen to the stuff they talk about, they're constantly complaining. Everything that comes out their mouth is negative. You know, oh, girl, child, I'm sick of my job. I ain't got no money. My man get on my nerves. These kids, they running me crazy. Whatever the situation is, okay? They're always talking negative. People do me dirty. I'm sick of people. Whatever the case is, then they're not as positive as they think they are. You have to watch what you say. Okay? Because the things that you say and the things that you believe will manifest themselves. That's a fact. Especially if you hold on to that belief long enough. Relationships. How does this rule apply to relationships? Well, let's just say you're with somebody. The best thing that I would recommend if you're trying to change your relationships are the love dare. And I'll explain why. The love dare is a dare that I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Fireproof, but you need to check that out. And what the love there, in the movie, is this couple and they're fighting all the time. They get on each other's nerves, whatever, and they're on the verge of divorce. Well, the man, his father said, before you file for divorce, I want you to try this. And he sent him a book with the love there in it. It lasts for 40 days and it's a new challenge that they have to do every single day. Well, his wife didn't know he was doing it, you know, and basically what that there teaches you is meekness. It teaches you to love without expectation. It teaches you, well, love without expectation, or better yet, when you do something from your heart, you're supposed to do it without expecting anything in return. Um, it teaches you basically how to be the example or the change that you want to see. The exact way that you would want your mate to treat you, that's the way it teaches you to treat your mate. So I would recommend that to anybody's relationship. But at the end of the day, when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're constantly complaining about what they do and don't do, how they get on your nerves, whatever the case may be, it may not necessarily be that that person is not for you, especially if every relationship you get in fails. If you've been in relationship after relationship and every relationship fails, 9 times out of 10, it's not the relationships themselves that you have to blame. You're the common denominator of all those failed relationships. So you got to look at you, you know? So in terms of relationships, you have to look at, well, what is it that I may or may not be doing? You have to watch what you say. The very first rule in the love there is to not say anything negative. That's the very first challenge that it gives you. Don't say anything negative for the next 24 hours. Don't say anything negative to your spouse or to your mate for the next 24 hours, because I'm telling you, those negative things that you say, those passive aggressive comments, that's me all day. Yeah, I can be very passive aggressive. Them little smart, sarcastic, passive aggressive comments, you going off all the time, accusing your mate all the time, this, that, and the other, and the inability to forgive, all of those. Well, that's another subject, but just saying negative things to your mate, that is the one of the biggest things that can make a relationship go sour. The way you look at your mate. Sometimes it's not your mate that needs to change. Sometimes it's your view of your mate that needs to change. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm telling you this because I've done it. When you can speak life over somebody, speak life over that person. This person could be getting on your nerves or whatever. They could have ways that you truly ain't feeling, but you speak life over that person. What that means is you speak positive words over that person and you say, I appreciate you, and you say everything positive about them. Everything that made you fall in love with them in the first place, the positive traits about them. And as far as those negative traits go, start feeling the opposite way. Start telling them, you know what, you are honest. You are a great man. You are a good woman. You're a good looking woman. You're, even if you feel like she needs to lose weight, you're this. If you start speaking the things that you want in that relationship into existence, and you do it, and you can't just speak it, you got to start to believe it. You got to start to see it. It'll start to change. And I'm telling you that because I've experienced it. It'll start to change. Like, because there is no limit with God. Like, God is big enough to change any relationship. So, of course, he's big enough to, you having issues in your marriage, you have an issue with your woman or your man. He can change the nature of your relationship, but you got to believe. You have to believe it, and you have to speak it, and you have to receive it even before you receive it. That's how you change your relationships. It starts with you. Same thing with your job. You might be in the mailroom, but you're going to come up there because you feel like you an executive. You're going to come to work. You're going to dress like an executive. You're going to talk like an executive. You're going to come in earlier than you're supposed to, stay later than you have to, not because you have to, but because you believe that you are more than just somebody in the mailroom. You somebody's executive, and I guarantee you, if you do that and you speak about your job like it's important, you're going to become important at your job. That's how that works. It starts with you, right? And that's how you do with every area of your life. The change begins with you. And I'll tell you something. One of the biggest reasons why I'm so big on this is because one thing about me is for years, dealt with depression. Manic depression. And it got really bad after I had my youngest son. It got really, really bad. So it was kind of like those hormones and the postpartum depression just kind of drove it over the edge. But for a long time, I've dealt with depression, and it seemed like every area of my life wasn't right. It seemed like, you know, my love life wasn't where I wanted it to be. I didn't have a career I wanted. It just seemed like I couldn't do anything right. I didn't really just make a lot of friends. But when you're depressed and you don't value yourself, I mean, it reflects in your life. You begin to see that. And when I looked around me, instead of me realizing that I was affecting my outside, I let my outside affect me. And that's not how that works. Never let your outside affect you. Understand that what's within you is what is affecting your outside. The challenge I want y'all to do for me is I want you to make a commitment to not say anything negative for the next 48 hours. It is 2:03 p.m. Central Standard Time. So from now until 2:03, what's today? Thursday, Saturday. You can't say anything negative. I would like to continue to go longer. If you slip up and you say something negative, start over. Just start over again. Don't beat yourself up over it. But I want you to just be positive and don't complain about anything. Just be positive for the next 48 hours and hit me on the email address below and tell me what your experience was. And I will share my experience with y'all. So I'll see you in 48 hours. Peace.